Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the latest awards presentation for Wild Art Photographer of the Year. And this time we're going to be doing the winners of Tiny. So another amazing category, and we've got nearly a full house of guests for you today, along with Michael Snedic, who's going to be helping me out and co-hosting the show. So without further ado, let me run the intro, and we'll be talking to you afterwards with Michael for a quick rundown of the category before we get into talking to our winners. Catch you soon. Michael, welcome.
Yeah, welcome as well. Thank you. No, great to be here, Rob. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, did you like my laid back bluesy intro?
I did. I was grooving. It was fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I thought, seeing as it's Sunday lunchtime here, I thought we ought to have something a bit more relaxing than last time,
Nice.
where I think I woke everybody up with something rather energetic. But hey,
Yeah, no, it's lovely.
So how's it going?
Yeah, really well, really well.
Yeah.
It's of course I'm in Brisbane, Australia, and it's evening here. But no, it's been lovely. The people talk about the weather, certainly in England where you are. I talk about the weather, and I hate to say this, Rob, but it's been unbelievable week after week of the most stunning weather. We get the most horrendous heat and winds and storms and rain and all the flooding and the fires. But at the moment, we've got a golden run. It's just so wonderful, really, really lovely. Yeah. And I've been out and about and exploring. Yeah, it's really great.
Well, guess what it's doing here?
Raining.
Raining. Well, it's on and off. It's not so bad. I don't mind it. We've had a pretty good run recently, so some pretty nice weather.
That's great.
It's been great. Let me just catch up with a few sort of housekeeping things before we get started with everybody. So where are we? Naturescapes closes at the end of September. I mean, where's the year going to? It's just ridiculous. Oh, yes. I said this last week. I mean, it's just flying by. So don't miss out on that one, obviously. And then we're into our very last category, which is space. And that runs throughout the course of October. And then we're done. Michael, can you believe that? We're done for another year. So
this is your third year, Rob.
Third year. I know.
I remember clearly when it was all new and it was, Rob Reed starting this new exciting, abstract wildlife competition. And that was 3 years ago. And you just think, what? So very quick.
It's a bit surreal. It is a bit surreal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Abstracts, we're in the process of judging that at the moment. So that I'm hoping, well, I know that the top 100 certainly within the next couple of weeks. So I'll keep everybody posted on that one. But Victoria, I've got David Tipling helping out, and Gail Bisson as well. So hopefully we'll get that done and dusted in the next week or two. Some amazing entries in there again. It's I always say this is one. So they're all my favorites, but it is one of my favorite categories just because of the diversity of it. So it's really good. And of course, don't forget about the podcast. We spoke about that last week, so I won't bang on about that too much. But latest episode out now. And of course, Michael, you were one of our guests a few months ago.
I was really enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, we had a really good chat about African wildlife, didn't we? So that was really good.
Yeah, definitely. Really I go for those that may not know, I travel around the world, around Australia, running photographic tours, photographing, and Africa as a whole, especially Kenya, I'm absolutely in love with. I'm hitting my 10th year next year, and I'm like a kid in a lolly shop. I love it. Really special place.
Yeah, good. So Tiny. That was your idea, actually. You sort of you suggested that one to me a while ago, and we ran it this year. So again, some incredible entries to run through, and the judging process is so difficult, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, the idea, as you well know, quite a while back when we were talking about ideas, and I thought of Tiny, not just the subject macro, but Tiny in the sense of having. I mean, it could be a little squirrel jumping through the air, a hummingbird. It could be some microscopic macro little subject. And there's so much variety. But once the entries were coming through, and of course, is one of the judges, not just myself, some other judges, and we got the entries, and it was like, wow, oh my goodness. And it's tough because you have to be callous. In the end, there's one gold, one silver, one bronze, and highly commended. You know, really, when you think about it, it's tough but great. Really love the subject, and some really creative shots out there. Lovely.
Yeah. Well, we've got nearly a full house of guests, so let's get on and let's bring on our first guest. So as usual, we tend to do the young winner first, so that's what we're going to do. So young winner, we're just about to talk to you. So I will share that one with everybody now. So our young award winner for Tiny is Tamboon. You're becoming a regular.
Hey, Tamboon.
Another amazing picture. Let me bring that up on the screen for everybody. If I get my mouse in the right place and click the right thing. Oh my word. Michael, what can you say about this?
Look, it's one of those images that instantly, and I mean instantly when you look at it, there's no half a second here. There's like, oh wow. Absolutely love, of course, the dragonfly on the right, on the green, that gorgeous light and the light coming through on the grass. But then on the left, I love it's like the light ball, you know, it's sort of the bokeh in a sense with the lovely color, the rainbow color. And then you get the sort of the silhouette. It's really special, really well done. And you can tell that you've put thought into this, Tamboon. It's very good, and you should be very pleased. And congratulations, lovely.
Yeah, lovely. You keep coming up with them. I mean, you know, some of the images we've seen from you over the course of this year, in particular, I mean, just outstanding. And this is certainly no exception. This is an exceptional image. It really is. When I saw this, I just thought, oh, you know, that's something I would love to have taken myself. And I do say this about, and if you can hear, I've got Sky barking in the background again. she made an appearance last week, so she obviously wants to make her presence felt again. So apologies for that. I think she's just come back from her walk, actually. No, this is an exceptional image, and it's all about that impression of I think it's a damselfly.
Damselfly, sorry,
damselfly in the bokeh ball. It's you know, that is what this image is all about. But then you've got that beautiful light, you know, on the grass stem and the damselfly itself, and there are no distractions in this image. There's no other little bits that take your eye away from where it needs to go. It's so clean, and it's exceptional. It's exceptional.
I think though too, Rob, with this one is that even if it was the image with the damselfly on the right with the grass with a black, you know, dark background, it's quite lovely. And then if you just had that lovely ball and those rainbow colors and the kind of silhouette, you go, wow, that's lovely. And to have the two together, and there's kind of like a perspective. My eye is sort of looking at the damselfly being closer to me, and then like it just works. So yeah, well done, very creative. You've got a good eye, Tamboon. Really, well done.
He has. So tell us a little bit about this picture. And I mean, was this a sort of a planned thing, or was this something you just came across when you were out and about?
In the morning, sunlight, I go to the pond to see the duck. It is have the duck in the pond, and I go that every day to take the duck and the bouquet when the opposite side of sun is very beautiful. But when go to the late time, I see the another thing of duck is this damselfly. So much of damselfly come to this pond. I don't know why. Sometimes they will go to find out some female or something like that. Yes, I see this in the one day, and I change the subject that I take the duck and I focus this damselfly. And when the damselfly come to this grass, I wait for the in the back is have have a bouquet, the very big bouquet, and it have another damselfly come to that grass, and it's very beautiful. I need to take this shot. Press. It's very cool.
Yeah, it's an amazing shot. You know, I said it's all about that impression in that bokeh ball. That is what absolutely elevates this to something rather lovely and spectacular. And that's what you know. Those are the things that we're looking for, aren't we, Michael? When we go through these images, are you know, those elements that just elevate something to that, you know, to that level of exception. You know.
I think you need to have the skills. You need to be able to have the right, you know, composition. You need the lighting. You need the focus. You need the right shutter speed. You need the right depth of field. But then nature has to win. And this is like, wow, it's landed. It's in the right spot. And then you, as the photographer, put those elements together with your skills, and you make it happen. And don't let anyone ever say, "Oh, you were lucky." Gosh, that's a lucky shot. No. You can see that was you. You saw it, and I can see you're excited. You must have been, because I would have been like, quick, you know, let's get this. Yeah, really, really cool.
Yeah, no, it takes an exceptional eye to see these things. So it's fantastic. Let's just check the comments as they're coming in. So if you do want to sort of pop by and say hello, if you do want to comment on the images, you know, pop it in the live chat, and I'll try and catch up with those as we go through the presentation. So. We've got Andorn Misradi says superb Tamboon, and Mal Oswick is on. Hi Mal, a super image Boone, congrats. And Sue Harper says amazing shot Tamboon, congrats. Hi Sue, hope you're well. And Mal says hello Rob and Michael from a breezy North Yorkshire. Yeah, it's a bit breezy and wet down here actually.
Yes.
Yeah. In fact, I'm coming up to Yorkshire over Christmas. Jennifer and I are going to spend a week away during Christmas in Yorkshire, so close to Malham Cove, I think we're going somewhere like that. But anyway, Tamboon. This is a fantastic image. As I said, I can't sort of stress that enough. It's it's amazing. Well done, and thoroughly deserved. And thank you for coming on and chatting to us again. And let's just stop sharing that screen for just a second and bring you up a little bit larger, because actually it's it's a better time of day for you, isn't it? Normally you're talking to me at 1 o'clock in the morning, and it's afternoon where you are now. So made things a little bit easy for you. It's worked out quite well.
Tamboon, be thankful as the sort of the main judge here that I'm in Australia. We made it happen around all of you guys and me. So otherwise, you know, it's a bit more decent for you. Yeah. We've got somebody else who's sort of on from the other side of the world as well. So they were thankful of the timing of it. So Tamboon, lovely to talk to you again. That is a special image.
Yes,
and you've got a great future ahead of you.
I was thinking that really do. Well done. Fantastic.
Fantastic. Yep. Lovely to talk to you. Keep hitting that shutter button.
Yep.
That's what I say. Yeah. Okay. Lovely to talk, and we'll talk again soon, no doubt.
Goodbye.
Okay.
See you.
Cheers.
Oh, Rob, if this is the young winner, wow. I mean, really, it's very, very special. And this young guy, as we know, he keeps coming up with the goods. And I thought that you read my mind. I thought, I mean, let's forget the fact that how old he is now. Like, seriously, if he keeps at it and the way he's going, I mean, this is somebody to watch. It's great.
I'm trying to line up our Bronze Award video, and I have a slight reservation about this, because I did check it before we came on, but the thumbnail's not showing anymore. So I'm hoping this is going to play. If it doesn't, then I'll wing it. So Bronze Award winner. I'm hoping your video will play, but I have my doubts now for some reason. But, anyway, we'll get through it. So I'm hoping this will play. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. But our Bronze Award winner, hopefully the video will play, is
fingers crossed.
Yeah. Phew, it played.
Catherine.
I was looking at the screen, and my thumbnail had disappeared for the video. I'm thinking, okay, I did check this before we went on air because
Rob, I'm not the head honcho like you, but my heart raced a few beats. And just after what we'd said a few minutes back before the start, and then I saw the beginning. I went, oh, it's working.
Yeah, it's working. So that's all. Right. It's all good. You see, Catherine, you know, we were talking before we came on air. Yep. You know, because I know you're a little nervous, but you really don't need to be about things that go wrong. And things do go wrong when I do these things, but you just kind of have to roll with it. So anyway, Catherine, it's lovely to have you on and to be able to talk to you live. Let me bring your image up big on the screen, and Michael and I can have a chat about it. So I need to move this on screen onto the right place before I add it in. So there we are. Michael, let's just see if I can blow that up slightly. Oh, yeah, perfect. There we go. Yeah. Michael.
Good. Sorry, do you want me to? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting for your critique.
Yeah, no. Catherine, this is delightful. It really is a lovely image, and well done on the bronze. It's just, to me, there are so many elements that work in this. The composition side of it is just wonderful. Of course, the black background, the seahorse stands out. You've got is it a coral as such?
Yeah, it's a Gorgonian. It's a Gorgonian fan coral.
Oh, I knew that.
They live in the big fan coral, but usually they're embedded amongst the polyps, so they're usually quite difficult to get standing out.
To have the seahorse in the open without anything distracting, the background black, and that color, and the other judges and I, and Rob, the four of us, we were just like, wow, this is such a lovely, lovely image. So really well done. And the lighting, it's sharp. I mean, you've got to be incredibly chuffed, and there's no doubt this has to be, a framed photo on a wall like this. I hope you do something like it. It's really special. Really.
Yeah. I mean, so that's what this competition is all about. It's all about images that you'd want to frame and put on your wall. This is art. And what I like about it is you've got that window, that dark window that the seahorse is in, and then it's just framed by all this lovely color. I said, as Michael was saying, I think the composition of this, because I know this did appear because you entered it in the color category as well, which, it got highly commended, in there. And of course, these categories are judged generally. I do rotate the judges, in groups of 3 around the categories when we do the selections. So they won't have seen, the judges for Tiny were different for those that did color, and they won't have seen it. But I think that just goes to show, how good this image is, because it's been picked out by, effectively 6 judges in 2 different categories, for which it works. It does work in both, but I think for Tiny, it works extremely well, because this is, I think I was reading your write-up on it, and it's like a centimeter long, this thing.
Yeah, it's almost smaller than a centimeter, actually. Very, very difficult to spot, and also to keep in your vision when you're using a macro lens, particularly when you're in current, as I was. When the current's running, that's when all the pink polyps come out. And so you're floating mid-water, trying to stay still, but also glad that the polyps are out. But it's really important to not actually touch the fan, because that then damages the seahorse habitat. But usually I'm going for sort of the face-on portrait shot, and because they were so active that day, you couldn't actually see them because they were jumping around. But when it suddenly came into that window, I thought, well, if I increase my shutter speed and forget the bokeh, try and get something that's actually a framed shot, it would be more effective. So
look, that's wonderful. I love the backstories in these photos. For anyone watching, any of you, it's difficult enough getting a great shot. I call it above ground. Goodness me, you're in the water. There's a current. You've got all sorts of lighting conditions. You don't know where the subject is. I mean, it's another level. So yeah, well done. Really, really lovely.
Yeah. Well, we were having this discussion when Henley came on the podcast, and we were talking about underwater photography, and that's one of the points that he was making. I mean, you're in a completely well, pretty much an alien environment. And I think people sometimes don't appreciate that when they see these images, just how hard it must be, to, position yourself and battle with all those extra elements that you need to cope with to get images like this. I think that's exceptional, to be able to create something like this, and for something that is so tiny. So, Catherine, this species, what's the species? Or tell everybody.
It's a Bargibanti pygmy seahorse, and so it's actually one of the smallest. It's not the tiniest one, but it's almost the tiniest seahorse there is, and it's sort of smaller than my little finger.
Wow.
And they usually live to about between 10 and 40 meters. This was at 20 meters. But another challenge from a diving perspective is, first of all, you have to find it at 20 meters, which luckily there tend to be guides in the Philippines to help you. But when you get down to 20 meters, if you've wasted a lot of time looking for it, you're then very time limited, because you've got to, only an hour's dive, and at 20
you need
meters.
To breathe.
Yeah, you need to breathe.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's another one of the things that Henley was pointing out. You've got this limited window to do things, because obviously you've only got so long you can be in the environment, because of,
and also with the pygmies, we do try very much to do a very limited number of flashes, because they are shy, they don't like it. I'm not sure yet whether it damages them. We believe it doesn't, but you do try to limit, certainly to no more than 5 flashes, which gives you 5 goes at a shot, really. So that's another factor.
Yeah, and then you're almost back into the days of film, aren't you? When you're limited by that 36 exposure, whatever you had back in the day. But to that's an interesting challenge, isn't it, in itself, to know that you've only got sort of 6 bullets, if you like, 6 goes at it, and then you're up and away. That really must focus the mind.
And sadly, when you didn't get it right as well nowadays, because you can look back on your screen.
Yeah, exactly. And then if you come away without anything, then it's
very frustrating.
I can imagine.
Yeah, many times.
What a fascinating thing. So do people know much about this species at all, or is it sort of something that's still some research going on?
1969, I think. So quite
wow,
relatively recent discovery in New Caledonia, and I think. Do we know much about them? I mean, we know where they live, and we know what we shouldn't do to them. Certainly, I was in Raja Ampat earlier this year, and there was only one on the house reef that was easy to see, although there were quite a lot in the more open marine park. But I think they're quite a fragile species, and as the oceans heat up and the corals get damaged, their habitat will become ruined.
Well, it's like everything, isn't it? It's all a question of habitat and habitat loss, which is going to affect these things. But what an amazing thing to be able to bring into people's living rooms, through the power of photography. Something that I had never heard of before, didn't know existed, had never seen before, and I think it's it leaves me feeling quite privileged. When I see pictures like this, to be able to see those little snapshots of wildlife that I'll never get to see.
Maybe you will get there on the
Yeah. Well,
imagine with this species, if there weren't many of them, and they're difficult to find, and sadly they become extinct. That is the most beautiful, amazing record. I mean, let's not go there and negative and depressing, but really think of that. Like, you've got this captured forever. I just think that's so special.
Yeah, and in such an artistic way as well, which to my mind and the way I look at photography, that's what I want to see. Literal representations, all well and good, but I think this combines the two, doesn't it? It's a literal representation in one way, but it's done in a very artistic fashion. So,
and I mean, the coral itself is obviously a live animal as well. Those pink frilly bits are all coral polyps, which are live animals. So that's what we've really got to look after, the live coral that's out there.
Because if that's not there, everything else disappears as well. It's exactly the same story the world over, isn't it? Unfortunately. Let's just catch up with a couple of comments. Maloswick says, "Lovely capture, Catherine, along with your other 2 top 100 images. Congrats." And Sue Harper says, breathtaking and beautiful image, and those colors, wow, congrats, Catherine. So yeah, here to that. So let me just stop sharing the screen for a second, and we'll bring you up live and bigger on the screen. Catherine, thank you so much for braving it. I know.
Helps having a fellow Australian on the screen.
Yeah, well, because you were just saying off air, you know, that you were born in, was it Brisbane? Did you say? Yeah.
I'm heading out soon, actually, in about a month. So
where are you going? Where are you heading?
Well,
just
I'm
quickly.
flying to Sydney through Brisbane and that up to Papua New Guinea diving.
Nice,
so.
nice,
fantastic. Well, we look forward to seeing the pictures in next year's WildArt.
Okay.
Photographer, yeah.
Congratulations again.
Yeah, congratulations, and I hope it wasn't too much of a traumatic experience for you.
Thank
so
you very much.
You did very well. So thank you for coming on, Catherine. It was lovely to talk to you.
See you.
And you know, hopefully we'll talk to you again.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Catherine. Cheers. Okay. That's what
Rob,
I love.
what a
love
joy.
The diversity. Yeah.
You're the founder, and you get to see, you know, and co-judge. But as the selected judges, I feel blessed. I mean, the images that we get to see and have to pick and, you know, choose. But that was amazing. Look, wow, wow.
Yeah,
the
diversity of stuff is the diversity of stuff is amazing, isn't it?
And the standard, really, really special.
Yeah. So, which brings us on to the next image, which is our Silver Award winner. And that thumbnail is showing, so I'm pretty confident this video will show. So I don't know what went on with that one, but hey, it worked. So I breathed a sigh of relief. So this is an entirely different image again. And I would say arachnophobes beware with this one. Might give you a slight hint. So Silver Award winner, we're just about to bring you on and talk to you. So anyway, our Silver Award winner for Tiny is... Jerry, hello.
Hello there.
Hey, Jerry.
And you're in Australia at the moment, so it means that it worked out really well to do it. Excuse me, at this time of the day. Yeah,
but it worked out very well.
It did. So let me just bring I'll put the picture into the right place. There we are. I'll put that large on the screen. Like so, and Michael and I will have a quick chat. So I told you arachnophobes beware. Jennifer hates spiders, so she really doesn't like this category because there are so many spiders in it, and obviously they're pretty in your face as well, a lot of them. But this is this is rather special. Michael, what did you think?
Yeah, look, instantly on this one as well. It was just like, to have that large spider, that silhouette, you know, dark in the background, that looks just like out of one of the horror movies from when I was younger, those corny horror movies where everything was massive. But then to have the spider in the front, perfectly positioned, that facing the right way, that flash of red, the spider at the back, like the silhouette version. I mean, you haven't cut off the legs. The background, it's really, really good. And we all agreed. We instantly, all judges and Rob, as you know, Rob, we just went, wow. This is very kind of unique shot. I've seen the odd ones similar, but it's rarely done like this. So yeah, well done. Really special.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I love it. It's really menacing. That's what I like about it.
Yep.
You know, you've got that, you know, the spider in the background. You're thinking, I don't want to be the one in the foreground because I'm pretty sure what's going to happen to it. And I liked the play on Tiny as well, because you've got the spider, which, you know, is quite a common subject for the category Tiny. It's a macro, you know, being a macro shot, but you've got, you know, tiny and tinier with that smaller spider in the front. And I liked the play on the category and the way that you did that. And you know, as we've said before, and I said earlier in the, you know, in the presentation, it's those little elements that transform, you know, that elevate images into, you know, let's say a sort of commended image into a proper award. So Sky's come up to say hello. She's just pouring at my chair. That's what elevates it into actually sort of an award position. It is just a little extra bits, and it takes something quite clever, I think, and this is a really clever take on a relatively sort of common subject, from sort of spiders as a whole. But no, so tell us a little bit about how you took the image and where you were and what have you. Sky's going to come up and say hello, I think. So hang on, let's just bring her up. This is the noise and the troublemaker. So she's going to pass her opinion on it as well.
Yeah, so that image was photographed in Bali when I was traveling, and it was very unexpected because I was just visiting a friend's house, and he had the hugest, is that even a word? Well, the biggest.
Well, it is now.
The biggest orb weavers, golden orb weavers in his garden. And I was just looking around. I had my camera on me because I always try to keep my camera on me, of course. And I just happened to found this, quite a few actually dewdrop spiders that is on the big female's web. So what the dewdrop spiders do is they kind of parasitize on the big spiders. So it's something called a kleptoparasitic.
Kleptoparasitific.
Yeah, can't even pronounce it. Anyways, yeah, that's what happened. And actually, the golden orb weaver is around, they usually get around 15 centimeters. So actually pretty big spiders.
Wow.
And these dewdrop spiders are around 4 millimeters. So actually a big contrast in a size. And at the moment I was photographing up with my DSLR, and I just had my flash and diffuser on, and I set the flash setting to a minimal, maybe 1 out of 128. And so I could effectively flash the first spider while leaving the second spider in some sort of shadowy, because it was harsh afternoon light hitting from above. So I could get the shadow of the big spider, but I could get the first spider well lit somewhat with my flash.
No, you see, that's really clever, isn't it? That's a photographer's brain really working things out, and I love that.
I love the story. I love that. Honestly, Jerry, that to me was I'm here listening, going, "Wow, that is really cool." You thought about it. You made it happen. Again, it's like with Catherine in the last image with the seahorse and the coral. I mean, there's so much that goes into it. You have to get it all right, all the elements, but. That's really cool, and it worked. You must have been stoked when you look at the LCD screen.
I was really happy, but this was a pretty lucky moment, because the dewdrop spiders don't really get on the web that often, like the web of the big female. They have a separate strand of silk hanging off the big female's web into some sticks or something. They can't actually build their webs, so they rely on the female to provide food for them. So they're like little burglars that live next to you.
Yeah. This seems like a high risk strategy to me.
It definitely is.
Yeah, I don't fancy it. I really don't fancy it, but no, this is fantastic. I love this, and I love the way that you've looked at that opportunity and then been able to sort of structure an image around it, and in an artistic way. The thing about photography is that if you manage to take something which elicits an emotional response, then that's when you know that an image is successful, and that's exactly what this does. Because it could, with a lot of people, it's going to be horror. For me, it's fascination. After that initial sort of, oh crikey, you're not going to ignore this image, that is for sure. And I think when you manage to piece things together and create something that has that response with people, then you have a successful image, and that's what this is. So yeah,
Yeah,
many
Jerry,
congratulations.
as you know, one of the 3 judges, as well as Rob, 4 judges. Honestly, we go through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of images per category, and you look at them and you go to the next, and rare to get a response. I know we all did, all of us. It was just, oh, okay, bang. There's no like, oh, let's go back to this one. That was already up there for contention. That's certainly how I felt, Rob.
Yeah, no. When you first go through the selection of images, there are always, 4 or 5 or 6 images that stand out, and this was one of those. From those hundreds of images that come in. There's always a handful that sorry, Sky's voicing her opinions. She's sat on my lap and grumbling because there's stuff going on outside. Yeah, there are always that handful of images that are going to do well. And this is one of those, because it just stands out because it's different. So let me just stop sharing that with everybody for a second. So let's just take that away.
Your arachnophobes, you can come back now.
yeah, if you can stop from hiding behind the sofa.
Come out of the cupboard.
Jerry, that is a fantastic image. Thank you so much for sharing it. And
thank you.
Look forward to seeing what else you've got. So no, fantastic.
Yeah, so I'll be entering the other categories as well. So
brilliant.
Right.
Yeah, not many left now. Not many left, but we've got next year as well. So we'll see what happens there. Jerry, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for coming on and talking to us. And
enjoy your trip. Enjoy your trip.
Yeah, thanks.
And we'll talk to you again soon, no doubt. Yeah, brilliant.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Lovely to talk.
See you.
Cheers. Right.
Rob, wow.
I know. Told you it was good. Well,
wow.
you went through them.
I know.
Sky's off. That's better.
Fantastic.
Right. Let's have a little look. Oh, we didn't share the comments, so apologies.
Oh,
let's just. Oh dear. Well, professional always.
Yeah, I got a bit of an itch here, so excuse me. Just a little allergy.
So Mimosa Beauty says amazing. Mal Oswick says congrats, Jerry, a great image. Sue Harper says totally unique and crazy good image. You realize this will give me nightmares tonight. Thanks. What do you think it's done to me, Sue? And Jackrit says awesome Tamboon, going back to Tamboon's image. So Jerry, sorry I didn't share those when you were live on the screen. Right, so where are we now? We are to our Gold Award winner. So Gold Award winner, we're just about to bring you on. I know you've had a long wait, but as I always say, the longest wait is the best one. So, right. So our Gold Award winner for Tiny is... Kai, welcome. I'm so glad you managed to make it because I had this lovely look of surprise when you arrived on the screen earlier because we weren't expecting you because I know you were out in the field and it was going to be a little difficult for you. So I'm so glad you've made it. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. The weather is so bad that I stayed at home.
Well, there we go. So the weather intervened, and it meant that we could talk to you.
You're on. That's good.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Let me just find the right image, and I will bring that up on the screen for everybody. So there we are. This was so hard, wasn't it, Michael? This choice.
Yep.
Another incredible image. I'll give you again first dibs on this. Tell us what made it stand out for you.
I think it's just the elements. There are so many elements, and to have the frog there on the left. I mean, those lovely dark eyes, and then literally it's like translucent with all the tadpoles. You've got the composition is absolutely perfect. The light is sublime, and it just worked for all of us. It was really, really tricky. Kai, you've seen the others, the silver and bronze, great images, but we went back and forth, Rob, didn't we? And the other judges, we and this was the one that You made it. You pipped it. You know, like you got it at the very end. Really special. But I just love how you've got the frog and then that little gap and those gorgeous lines in the middle coming down at 45-degree angle, and then the tadpoles. And so, yeah, I really love this. I love how you've shot it. Really nice.
Yeah, and I think the thing for me is that, and one thing I would point out to people is that most would be tempted to include all of the adult frog.
Mm.
The bold decision here was not to do that, and to crop, you know, to crop in and
Yep.
you know, sort of halfway through the body. But I think that really works because you've left the front legs in and not, you know, not clipped any of those. You know,
Yep.
they're actually quite nicely spaced into the corners and the sides of the frame.
Mm.
And then all the concentration then is on kind of on those lovely markings along the back and the head and the eyes. And I think that sort of leads that leads you into, you know, the tadpoles and that bit of interest in the frame. But because of those dark eyes, that's the first thing that my eye goes to, and then I explore the rest of the frame. And I think that is, you know, it's the composition of this which is so clever. And as Michael was saying, I think those, you know, the lines in the leaf, which, you know, the frog and the tadpoles are on, the way you've angled that, and the angle of the adult itself, I think it works so well, because it just naturally leads you to the eye to where it needs to go in the frame and explore the rest of the image. And I think, you know, when you get those elements together, that's what really makes an image work. So this is just so clever.
Yeah, well done, Kai. Really, you've done so well on this.
Yeah. Kai, tell us a little bit about the species and the, you know, where you took it and the circumstances behind it, because I'm really interested to hear a little bit more about this, because it's absolutely sort of fascinating life cycle.
Yeah, this picture shows a La Palma glass frog. And glass frogs are translucent from the belly. The belly is completely translucent, and if you photograph them on, for example, a piece of glass, you can see their bones and their heart, lungs, everything. So that's quite interesting. And this picture is done during the day. So I was in Costa Rica, and they are quite common in Costa Rica. I was doing my master thesis, and I had to go on certain transects and record every amphibian and every reptile which I saw there. So I was passing this particular frog nearly every day, and I saw the tadpoles get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I don't know how many pictures of this frog I'm having, but I have dozens of them. And each of them is a bit different. The first ones were with the whole frog in frame and with the flash from the front. And I didn't like that too much, because the translucent nature of the frog, if you flash them from the front, it gets lost completely. And that's the important thing about it. And also, if you photograph them at night, the hemoglobin, the red blood cells, are expanding from the liver, and they get more colored. So if you photograph them during the day, they're even more translucent.
Wow.
And this is a male frog, because the males of this species are guarding the tadpoles, the eggs, in fact, from wasps. So the wasps try to eat these.
Okay.
Yeah, they are kicking them with their hind legs. So they are little ninja daddies. And
their hind legs. That's brilliant.
Yeah, and it's also, I think it's very dangerous for them, because that's a very small species. They are around 2.5 centimeters. And the wasps are also 2 to 3 centimeters. So they're pretty big as this frog. And yeah, I was alone, and that was my main problem when taking this picture, because how do you light it up from behind if you are alone? And I used my tripod. I positioned the camera on the tripod. The leaf was overhanging over a river, because if the tadpoles emerge, they drop down into the river. And then I used a remote control for the camera, I went around with my flash and the diffuser so that I have even light, and then I took the picture.
Oh,
Fantastic.
fantastic! Isn't it amazing how we get to hear about all these sort of different species
love it.
and you know, things that we've never seen before, and people that are knowledgeable about them and have spent time with them in the field, like Kai has with this species. I think that it's a real privilege to be able to hear about those things firsthand and to see images like this, which brings it into everybody's living room, as I was saying with the seahorse picture. It's I think that's, you know, I do feel privileged as a human being to be able to see images like this. So thank you so much for, you know, for entering that, and to be able to, I think being able to combine that sort of literal with the artistic is a real skill, you know. But we saw that with the seahorse as well. Catherine's image of the seahorse. We see that again here. And you know, to a certain extent, the spiders as well. You know, there's a literal element to all those images, but they're done in an artistic way, and I think that's so good.
Yeah, I think another important element of this picture is the right foreleg, because it's touching the eggs, and I think that's a nice ad. So they are my eggs. I'm watching them.
Yeah, which is there's that sort of an emotional connection almost. Yeah. No, it's fantastic.
I think. Sorry, no, keep going, Ty. Sorry.
And like Catherine, also in this picture, the amphibians worldwide are in decline. They are the most threatened group of vertebrates, and especially the frogs in the neotropics have suffered from a fungal disease. Another fungal disease at the moment is destroying the populations of fire salamanders in Europe. So fungal diseases for amphibians, it's also naturally the destruction of habitat, but also fungal diseases which are destroying their populations.
Yeah, and I think it's, you know, being able to share powerful images like this that hopefully will help you know, conservation efforts, you know, around the world, not only for this species, but, you know, for everything. I mean, you know, the seahorse, for example, you know, who'd have thought? I never was aware of that species, wasn't aware of this species, but now I am, you know, thanks to photographers like you bringing in images like this. You know, it brings it into people's living rooms, makes them aware, and makes them want to care, which I think is a good thing.
I think, if I may as well, I mean, like yourself and Catherine and Jerry, I mean, it's just for you guys to know about the species, to spend hours, dozens, hundreds of hours in some cases, knowing them, watching them, the patience, then having the photographic skills, thinking, what do I need to do to make the elements work? How do I light it up? How do I, you know, hold the camera and the light? Okay, I'll put it on a tripod with a remote. And then to put all that together and actually make it work, it's great. And like Rob said earlier on, that translucent body. I mean, really, I have not. I'm sorry, but I have not seen this. I love my wildlife dearly, my frogs, reptiles, birds, anything in wildlife, but I have never seen this. And you have basically brought this out for people and to see, like, so well done. Congratulations. Really special. Really good.
Yeah, fantastic image. Yeah. Okay, let's stop sharing that for a second, bring it up larger on the screen. Kai, thank you so much. I'm so glad you managed to make it and we managed to have a really good chat, because that's, you know, that's fascinating. Yeah. Let me just catch up with the comments before you go. Let's see what everybody's saying about it. Where do we get to? Right. Rachel Piper's on. Hi, Rachel. Hope you're well. She says, well done, Kai. Fascinating image. Sue Harper says, standout image, Kai. Has an extraterrestrial feel to it. Shows us the extraordinary tiny world we can't see without the camera. Maloswick says, congratulations, Kai. Amazing picture, amazing capture, sorry. And the backstory to how you photograph the frog and its eggs. Every day is a learning day. Yeah. Well, exactly. You know, I never knew about this. It's just fascinating to hear, as somebody who's fascinated with wildlife, and I'm sure most of the people that are watching this are as well. You know, it's always good to hear these backstories and you know, learn about new things and new species. So yeah.
But even when you look, you're an Austrian, Kai, and you've gone to Costa Rica, and let's be honest, Austria, my heritage is from Slovenia. I mean, let's look at the difference in the weather and the temperature. And you've gone to Costa Rica, hot, humid, long hours. But the thing is, you're passionate and you're wanting to do something. You're studying and you're wanting to protect, but at the same time, to be able to capture these images. What Rob said, I totally agree, Rob. So many of people like yourself and many, many others are doing these incredible projects that bring out there, like, bang, look at this. This should be published by some sort of nature-based BBC or some magazine where, put the story out there. I think it's great. Yeah, really well done on that regard as well, not just the wonderful photo.
Yeah, fantastic. Kai, it's been really lovely to talk to you again. And I said, I'm so glad you made it on. That was a really nice surprise for me when you arrived on the screen. So thank you for that. You've made my day. Kai, lovely to talk. So thanks for coming on again. And well, hopefully we'll talk to you again.
Well done.
We might see another of your pictures a little bit later.
Maybe we'll see. Thank you very much.
Right.
All right,
you're welcome.
Bye.
Lovely to talk. Cheers.
Oh, Rob. Wow.
It was so blooming difficult, wasn't it?
I know.
Right.
Tell me about it.
Where are we? Right. So we're on to Founder's Choice now. So, which is again a slightly different image. Unfortunately, our Founder's Choice winner couldn't be here, but let's run the video and let's have a chat about the image afterwards. So, Founder's Choice Award winner for Tiny is. Right, let me just bring that up big on the screen. Do you know what I liked about this category was that people had different interpretations on the category theme.
Very much. And
you could argue that this would be better in space, but I disagree with that. And the reason I do is because the tiny bit of the image is those huge mountain ranges making a fairly large animal appear tiny, and I think that for me is what made it stand out. And I love the bold composition of this. It's placing, what is it? Hang on, let's have a look. Ibex, placing the ibex in that sort of bottom left-hand corner of the frame with that little sort of almost triangle of in focus mountain. I think is it's bold, but it's clever, and I like the minimalist feel of this. The lack of color and I think it's very powerful. What was your take on this picture?
It's the same, Rob. When you look at tiny, and we've had some subjects which have been, in actual size tiny, but to then have something like this where the ibex is dwarfed by the mountain. You literally took the words out of my mouth. That tiny little corner, my eye, your eye, and most people goes, oh my God, there's an ibex on that mountain. And then you look back and go, wow. And the black and white works well. It's beautifully, the lighting is sublime. And I'm a big fan of silhouettes if they're done well. And so when you chose this as Founder's Choice, we all went, yep. So no, and yeah, it's not a 3mm, ladybug or something. Like it is tiny. It works really well, and a portrait shot as well, which is nice to see.
Yeah, which actually is quite unusual, because most of the stuff that's chosen, does tend to be the sort of horizontal, pictures. But so to have a vertical in there, which I think, it works so well. When you're talking about tall mountains and sharp peaks, then I think that orientation works really, really well. So Laurent says about this image, this ibex was carelessly walking through the cliff covered in snow. It is minuscule compared to the massive rock formations that are the Alps, but through their amazing adaptation to this environment, they managed to survive even the harshest of conditions. So that kind of says everything that we were saying, and I quite like that. I think photography can be a process of subtraction rather than addition at times. And I think this is one of those images, where you take away the color, you take away, too much detail. And then, it really makes it stand out because of those things. So that's what I really
kind of
like
minimalistic. It's,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And really the silhouette on the black, the rich black silhouette, it's obvious that it's an ibex. You kind of look, go, wow. And then the eye, when it follows that gorgeous mountain, well, I mean, who doesn't love the Alps? And honestly, that mist, that kind of snowy, misty, like, yeah, it's, and even the composition, the way he's composed the mountain, it's not cut off at the top on the right side either. It's just, yeah, really well done, Laurent. And I know you can't hear, but yeah, very, very lovely shot. Well chosen.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing picture, and I quite like, you know, the diversity that adds into the selection that we've got as well, because that represents the category and the entries that we had. So that's always another consideration when we look at these things. So no, that's a fantastic picture, you know, and one that another one that I would have loved to have taken myself. It's you know, and that's always a good sign, isn't it? When you look at something and go, oh, wow.
We'll just have to meet up in the Alps, Rob, with some of the
absolutely.
others.
Yeah. We'll see what we can do. So congratulations, Laurent. That's a fantastic image. I love it to pieces, and a well-deserved Founder's Choice. And of course, that, along with all the other winners that we've talked about, will go through to the final at the end of the year for our overall discussion, where we'll pick one for our overall winner. So yeah, congratulations. So let's just stop sharing that screen for a second. Okay, so that brings us on to the highly commendeds and the commended. So let's do that, because there are some amazing pictures in there as well. So congratulations to everybody who have sort of made these lists. I mean, that's a pretty amazing feat. So let's do the highly commendeds first. So the highly commended images for Tiny are another amazing selection there.
Again, it's like memory lane, because, you know, we judged them a little while ago, and it's like, oh my goodness, one after the other. Very, very nice.
So some amazing stuff in there. So, you know, well done to everybody for those.
Well
and if you want a longer and better look at those, then after we've done this live, because it's the middle of the day and not, you know, late at night, which it normally is for me, when we do these, I'll get that up later on today, so everybody can have a good look at those images. And same goes for the commended. So let's run through those now, and then we'll have a quick chat and wrap things up. But you know, again, another amazing selection of images coming up. These are our commended images in Tiny. So congrats to everybody who's on this list. Do you know, that's almost from the beautiful to the grotesque, isn't it? When you look at that selection of pictures, sort of amazing diversity in there.
Wow.
And it's just incredible.
Diversity was the thing, though, in this category. I mean, the diversity of subjects, but the diversity of photographic styles, color, and theme, just wow. Yeah, really Gosh.
Do you know the other thing that I'm really starting to enjoy as well, having run it for sort of in our third year, I'm starting to see people that were entering and have entered the competition, and all of a sudden they start appearing in top 100s, and then they start to get, you know, commended or highly commended as their photography is progressing, as they're taking their journey along this sort of artistic road. And it's so nice to see the development of these people. It's just it's very heartwarming when that happens, because that's kind of what, you know, this whole process for me is about, is to inspire and encourage people. And yes, you know, we have there are names in these lists that appear repeatedly, get my words out properly, but you know, to see those sort of new names coming through and starting to get some traction, it's just so, you know, for me it's thrilling to see that.
I think, Rob, I agree. I think with competitions such as this, everybody enters in the hope that they will win, whether it's, you know, the big three or highly commended or founder's choice. But the thing is, if you've got images that you like, that are special to you, you enter them and you never give up. You don't give up. You just enter and you enter again and try something different and get inspired. Hopefully people watching this, or each month when you post on the website the images, you know, even as a judge, I mean, but I'll go through every single image and I'll look them on a large screen. And I've been photographing 28 years now and teaching for 20, but I get inspired and, you know, never give up. You just keep going. And I know this is a fact, that people that were not really getting anywhere in the sense are suddenly, you know, they're getting these commendeds and highly commendeds and top 100. And, you know, it's very special and really, really great thing to watch and to see happen. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything in life. Nothing in life comes easy, does it? And you know, and not to be disheartened and just to keep at it, I think. And those people that do that, you know, get the results at the end of the day.
Definitely.
You know, I just think it's fantastic. And as we all know, you know, competitions and photography, it's a whole subjective process. And you know, I guess that, you know, if we put a different group of 3 judges in charge of each category, the results would probably be slightly different. I mean, there are outstanding images that I think, you know, would appear again and again and again, but you know, there might be a slightly different order to things, or there might be something else creeping in, because it is purely subjective, and what one person likes, somebody else doesn't. And we've seen this in the judging process as we've gone through the categories and gone through the, you know, the competition over the years. You know, not everybody agrees on the same thing, and I think that's healthy.
That's very really, and we all have a different idea as to what we like, what works. And as photographers, and many of us pro photographers, you know, there are certain things technically and using the technical skills correctly. But when it comes to the artistic, my goodness, we are all so different. And you can sit us, half a dozen of us in a line there and look at 3 images and we'll all completely disagree, or there might be one that's an absolute standout and we all agree, you know. And I love that. I actually find that really refreshing. It'd be kind of boring if we all just agreed every time, oh, this is a winner because it's 1, 2, 3. With WildArt, as you know, many of you here watching, and if you and I have chatted over time, Rob, it really is about obviously the photographic skills and all of that is important, but it's the amazing how to bring these images alive in an artistic way. And there are so many ways to do it. And you know, if it's been done before, do it similar, but do it in a different way, a different bent, do it differently. Because doing something identical, exactly the same every time, won't necessarily win. And I love how people get out there and they try. Look at tonight's images that we've seen. Goodness me, what a variety.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. I've got a frog in my throat today, talking about frog as the overall winner. I think it's ended up down my throat, but anyway, there we go.
It's funny, Rob. People don't really need to know, but it for a whole week or two, nothing. And 10 minutes before this live, we got on early, of course. And I moved a couple of things and they were dusty. And so I've had this Just,
Yeah, tickle in your nose.
Oh, no. Like, hey, it's like
your body plays tricks on you when you do things like this. So yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
get
you're
an
getting
itchy nose.
skies
Or,
of visitor. I'm sure she knows when the lives are on because she comes
Yeah.
in and it's like, hey, talk to me.
Exactly. Let's just
Yeah.
catch up with the final few comments.
Right.
Right. So Sue Harper says about Laurent's image, the composition is brave and shows me what can be done. Thanks. Brilliant image, Laurent. Bianca Blancson. Hi, Bianca. Hope you're well. Enjoyed your picture in that selection. Congrats to all the winners. Amazing pictures. Thanks for my making the choice of commended. Very happy. Maloswick, ditto on what Bianca has said. Well chuffed to have commended image at last. Well done, Mal. You know, I know you've been trying and trying and trying. So that's what what we're talking about is just stick at it. And and photography is a journey. And you know what? The thing is, as long as us as photographers are enjoying what we're doing, isn't that the most important thing?
Definitely.
You know, if you enjoy what you're doing and your style of photography, and you enjoy the results that come out of your camera, that's the most important thing. That is the most important thing. But if you can take inspiration from other people and improve your enjoyment of your pastime or your profession, or whatever level you're at, then I think that's that's the key takeaway to all this. Is the enjoyment.
And getting out there and just trying and enjoying. And for someone like me, who my income, including some of the other judges, is running photographic tours and being so busy. For the first time in 8 months, I've got a bit of time out where I'm still working from home, doing things, but I've been photographing. I've been getting out there and I'm loving it. I just, and I often think back of some of the images that I see and how people have thought outside the box, and using my knowledge and skills along with, the artistic. And then I'm not a morning person, trust me, but getting up really, really early in the dark, always with a like a takeaway coffee in hand and waiting for that light. And then I've got a window that's very short, but waiting for that magic light. Going to botanic gardens, all these little flowers. And for anyone out there, anywhere in the world, I mean, I'm sure there are places somewhere near you that you can just get out there with your camera and shoot away. And if you get some great images, have them ready. And if you miss the category this year, well, next year, this another year with new categories, some repeats, I'm sure. And it's such a, it's always great to get out and think, okay, what am I going to, is this the shot or shots?
Exactly. Well, you never know when they're going to turn up either, do you? You can be lucky sometimes.
That's right.
As Gary Player said, I think, when he chipped in from the bunker, the more I practice, the better I get.
Yeah, that's right.
You've got to be in it to win it, haven't you?
Yeah.
Michael, it's been an absolute pleasure to chat as always. Thank you for coming on and sharing your views of what has been some fantastic photography again. It just astounds me the quality of what comes through every time we do one of these. So thank you to all the photographers that came on and shared the stories behind their images and braved the live presentation. It's always great to chat to everybody. Thanks to all of you for tuning in and watching. Don't forget that we've got Naturescapes, which closes in about a week, and then the final category space, which is open in October. I'll keep everybody up to date with the progress on abstracts, the top 100 for which will be out shortly. I'll get the winners page for Tiny up today, so we'll go and have another good look at all those pictures at your leisure on the website. So I'll sort that out in the next hour or two, so that'll be live. And I guess the next live will probably be, it will be the winner's announcement for abstracts. So I'll let everybody know when we line that one up. Michael, thanks again. Great to see you. Hold on the line for a sec. We'll have a quick chat afterward.
Great.
And, thanks.
Thanks for watching, folks. Those of you still here, it's great always to have people along.
Let me do my professional bit and line up the outro video, which I should have done, but anyway, there we go. There it is. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed those pictures. We certainly did, and we'll see you again next time.
See you.